YouTube, what it is, it's your boy Diesel from Diesel TV. All right, man, I'm here with another police story. Here we go. Sitting at the job board, so I decided I'd do a police story. So this police story is about a time when a drug deal happened right beside me in a parking lot when I was working for a department. All right, so this department I worked for, ABC. What it was, what I would do anyway is I would sit in like parking lots of gas stations and grocery stores and look for any underage purchases and stuff like that. You know, downtime, just for something to do if no other investigations were going on or something like that. So this day, and usually what I would do is I would sit out in these parking lots, you know, on the college nights. I was in a college town. So there's like 3 big colleges in the city that I worked in. And the college night was on Thursdays. You know, a lot of underage drinking would happen on these Thursdays. They would go out and drink and then get in a car and end up in an accident or something, you know, and some of the times, you know, the kids would kill themselves or kill somebody else. And that's why we were doing this. So what I would do is I would go to a gas station or a parking lot of a grocery store and sit there and watch for anything I would see or think was underage purchases. So while I was sitting in the parking lot of a grocery store, I see this one car pull up, and it's like a young kid in the car. I'm like, okay, here goes one. Let me watch him and see what he does. Well, he doesn't get out of his car. He just sits there. So I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. Now, during this time, I was in a unmarked, well, it was an undercover car, basically. It was a 2018, I think it was. 2018, might have been a 17. But it was a Nissan Pathfinder, blacked out Nissan Pathfinder. I had blue lights all in it. You know, I could light up the whole world with it, man. It almost lit up like a Christmas tree, man. It had lights all over that thing. But they were low profile lights and you really couldn't see them from the outside. I had tinted windows and everything, so you really couldn't see them. And really it was hard to see if anybody was sitting in the vehicle. But the fact of the matter was, it was a Nissan Pathfinder, so it did not look like a police car anyway. So I'm just sitting there watching the store and watching the car, going back and forth. Didn't think much about it. Now the car, I'm in a parking spot. The car is, I pulled straight into a parking spot and there was a parking spot in front of me. The car was one parking spot over in front of me. So I'm just looking at him and I'm thinking he sees me there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got nothing on me. Usually I would have a vest on me and I had police on it, but I had a little covering that I could cover it, and so you couldn't see the police and all that stuff. So I was just sitting there, you know, smoking a cigar, and the car pulls there, just sitting there. About 15-20 minutes pass and the car is still just sitting there, and I'm like, okay, what's going on with this car? And I start thinking, okay, he's waiting on somebody to go and get the beer for him or the alcohol for him and bring it out to him. We had a lot of that happen too. They would sit there and have somebody come up there and get it for them, and they would meet in the parking lot, transfer it over, and then they would leave. We had a lot of that going on too. So I'm like, okay, that's probably what's going on. Well, another car pulls up beside it. The driver of the car that was already sitting there gets out of the car, gets into the passenger side of the car, and they're just sitting there for a little bit. He gets out, gets back in his driver's side. I said, okay, that's a drug deal. Me and my partner are sitting there. I did have my partner with me. He was sitting right beside me. He was in a Dodge Durango. This was when Dodge Durangos first came out, and not many of them were police cars or anything like that. He was in an unmarked Dodge Durango, just like my Pathfinder. He had lights all in his car too. So we decided, you go after this one, I go after that one. I went after the one that was sitting there, that had already been sitting there. He went after the other guy. So we go to stop him. And when we stop him, I'm talking to the guy and everything like that. I was like, what's going on, this and that and all this. And I was like, man, did you not see me sitting there and all this? I said, man, and basically what I told him was I saw everything that they did, man. So it might be best for him to go ahead and tell me what's going on instead of trying to lie. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, the harder I got to work, you know, the more, the worse it's going to be out for you. So if you make my job easy, I'll try to make it as easy for you when it comes down to it. Gave him that spill and everything. Come to find out, dude came up there to sell him some weed. So I get the weed off the guy and everything like that. And my partner has the other guy pulled over, and he's like, no, none of this. I was just meeting up with a friend trying to deny everything. And the other guy didn't have nothing on him. So we're sitting there like, okay, we got one guy saying that he did. How can we prove that this guy went up there and did it? So the other guy, he was very cooperative. He gave me his phone and everything, let me see the text messages and all that stuff. Looked at the text messages. Lo and behold, text messages show, you know, hey, you gonna bring that up here? This is like, you know, they talking in code and everything, but basically the text messages said everything, man. So what it was, the guy wasn't a drug dealer. He was just helping out a friend. He was just trying to help out a friend and give him some weed because he couldn't find it from nowhere else. So he just decided, okay, yeah, I'll bring it up there to you. I'll sell you what I got. And he sold it to him. So the thing about it was that we were not going to charge him with possession with intent to sell and deliver, because that would just been a hard one for somebody that's just helping out a friend. You know, he doesn't usually do that and all that stuff. But since he wanted to be such a butthole about it and lie the whole time, he would not cooperate. It was just a lie the whole time. And he was just like, you know, y'all ain't got nothing on me. Y'all can't do this. Basically try to prove a point and all that stuff, man. We basically had to charge him with it because he was not going to be cooperative. And the fact of the matter is, when we got to court, it would have been one of those things where we had to fight anyway. So it was just like, hey, we'll go ahead and charge you. Since you want to be so uncooperative, we'll go ahead and charge you with it. And then that'll be it, bro. You just have to fight it in court or whatever, because we've got the evidence to show that's exactly what you were doing. So we ended up charging him in court and everything, man. And lo and behold, he did fight it in court. He fought it with tooth and nail. But the proof is in the pudding. We had the text messages and all that stuff. So you did sell the marijuana. You sold the weed. You sold it to your boy. Even though you wasn't a big old drug dealer, you did it. And because you were being so uncooperative, you got the hammer. So it is what it is. That's the story of when a drug deal happened right beside me in a parking lot. Hope you guys enjoyed this story, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And y'all know what it is, man. I'm out.